Today we're going to cover a very important aspect about starting seeds indoors, and that's specifically the point when you're transplanting seedlings. Transplanting seedlings, whether it's into a larger container or outside in the garden, is one of the crucial, most important, sometimes dangerous part of a seedling's life. So today we're going to actually transplant seedlings that I've started in 2 different containers into some potting soil, and I'll explain what I mean. So I have seedlings growing in 3/4 inch cubes, and this is a seed starting mix or a germination mix, and I've been doing this for about 35 years and I really like it. In each one of these little cubes I have a little seedling growing in here, and the beautiful thing about this method, these are using a micro soil blocker, is that the seedlings experience very little transplant shock or damage to the roots. And I'll demonstrate that. And I also have seedlings growing in, just kind of a plain container. I think it might be a yogurt container or something like that. Oh, excuse me. A tofu container, right. And it's got drainage holes. Put drainage holes in it. Filled it full of vermiculite and sowed seeds, covered them with vermiculite. And so it's kind of random. Marigold seeds and calendula seeds, so it's a little random. And the important thing is to transplant these seedlings in such a way that we're not going to damage the roots. Okay? Now, just so you know, in the potting mix, which is pretty standard, doesn't have any chemicals, no additives. It's perlite, vermiculite, peat moss. And to that, I've added 4 ingredients. I've added dried kelp that I collected from the beach during the summer, and then I dry it and then put it in a used food processor. Works great. I also have added to the potting mix dried comfrey. Now, dried comfrey is loaded with minerals. It's just an incredible ingredient to everything from seed starting mixes to containers and hanging baskets. I have a friend in England. She says, Marion, no gardener is worth their salt without having their own patch of comfrey. Anyway, so I dry that, and I also put it through the food processor. And then, so that's 1, 2, 3. I add a little bit of wood ash. Not much, just a touch. A little potassium, you know. And finally, the coup de grace is I mix in some of our compost. Now, a lot of people will just grow seedlings in straight potting mix, and I like to think like a plant. Not everybody likes to eat oatmeal every morning or Cheerios or eat just rice 3 times a day. So you gotta get nutrition. So there you go. And I'm going to show you today how to use simple things from your kitchen to help you with the transplanting process, and how to use a pencil to get these seedlings out of the vermiculite and these little cubes. So let's do this. Now, first off, you might have noticed that this is a dry mix. And in my experience, in my almost 40 years of starting seedlings, there's 2 rules of thumb, and that is to start with a dry mix or a wet mix. And I've learned from professional growers, nurserymen, and so on, that a dry mix is preferred over a wet mix. And I'll show you later why that is. So let's begin with the lettuce seedlings that I started in the micro soil blocker. And these lettuce seedlings are now showing their true leaves. This is the seedling leaf, and this is the true leaf, the second leaf that shows up. So we're going to transplant some of these. I'm going to take my handy dandy spatula and scoop them out like this. Oops, that little guy, sorry. And here's one of the reasons why I really like these soil blockers, is because you can separate out one seedling like this, and you can see the root right here. And then what I do is I just make a little hole and press it in with the pencil and just press the soil around it like this. And it goes pretty quickly, really. Well, that's a long one, isn't it? I like to tease the root in, and the beauty of these soil blockers is all about the root. Less damage to the root, less transplant shock. Okay. And then I'll water it, the whole tray, when I'm done. Okay, for the sake of demonstration, I'm just going to put these little guys back here. Whoops. Here you go. It's okay. Here you go. Oops. There we go. And you too. You get to go in there too. All right. And then these marigold seedlings here are also showing their true leaves, their second set of leaves right here. Okay. And this is a little different procedure to tease out these seedlings. Again, I learned this method from professional growers, and it's very handy to simply sprinkle seeds on top of the seed starting medium, in this case the vermiculite, and that way you're not committing one seed to one, say, 3.5 inch or 4 inch pot, and it may or may not germinate, and it goes pretty quickly. So what you're going to do is use your pencil, and you're going to tease out, lift up the roots like this. Isn't that impressive? So you get the entire root. And dig a little hole, gently put it in there like this. Okay, done. I'm going to tease out another one here. And once you get the hang of it, it goes fairly quickly. And if you happen to dump a little vermiculite onto the potting soil, that's okay. Wow, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Wow. That's what you want to make sure that you're gentle with. You don't break the root, all right? Especially the root tip. Okay, press it down like this and into place. Yeah, little guy. Give it some nice vibes. Send it love. Tell them you care for it. It's very important. Plants as well as animals, your dogs, your cats, birds, they know what you're feeling. Maybe not exact like, human word terms, but they can pick up on your energy. It's important to realize this. And by the way, before I even started transplanting, yesterday, I gave them 24-hour notice to let them know that, you know what? Today, as in today, we're going to do some transplanting. You guys are going to be okay. And that gives them notice so they can prepare. Be kind of like someone knocking on your door saying, okay, here you go. You got 3 hours to get ready to move to Pennsylvania. Whoa, yeah, we need notice. All right, now this is impressive. These are calendula seedlings, and calendula seedlings plants, they have a reputation of being root hogs. They have big root masses. You can see they barely have their true their true leaves showing, and already they have quite a mass of roots here. So I'm probably going to end up transplanting these calendula seedlings a second time into a 4-inch pot before I actually set them outside, just because I know they develop a pretty healthy mass of roots. Okay. Oops. We'll give you a here. There you go. Kind of tease them in like this. All right. Gotta love those pencils. So if I had been trying to do this with potting soil that was really, really wet, it's much more difficult to not tear or smash the roots by jamming it into really stiff soil. Alrighty. Now, here are those spring onions. I love growing onions. I think they're like the hardiest plants around. They're great. The amazing thing about onions, let's see if I can get this out of here. You thought the other marigolds and calendulas had some long roots. Check this out. Now here's their true leaf, their second leaf, their true leaf. When you get two like this, and here's the seed that kind of does this sort of downward dog thing, and then they pop up and the seed is actually on the top. But check this out. Isn't that impressive? Wow. That's one healthy set of leaves or roots. Now, one thing that's very important about transplanting onion seedlings is you don't want to transplant it too deep. You want to just plant it to the very top of the roots, okay? It's very, very important. So I'm going to kind of twirl it a little bit just to make sure I'm not going to damage anything. There you go. It's okay. I know it's kind of a lot of, I kind of waited too long really to transplant the onions. I was sort of waiting until this day. Okay, here we go. I know. Practice what you preach, Marion. So I am just to the level here of just so the roots are covered, and that's it. All right. Now what I'm going to do is take these outside, and I'm going to just sprinkle lots of water over them, and then they'll start soaking in, sinking into the potting soil. And then I'll put them under lights in our garage, and I'll show you the setup. Okay. Okay. Oh, I love this watering can, by the way. I've had it for years. Comes in all kinds of colors, too. Here we go. All right, you guys. Happy seedlings. I'll water it several times. Let it soak in. Yeah, there we go. Happy seedlings. Coming into my seed starting setup here in the garage. One of several around the house. And first things first is we have the fan running 24/7. Here are the seedlings growing under lights, and the most important thing is, well, one of the most important thing is, you want to keep your lights about a hand width, that's about 4 inches above the tops of the seedlings. And keep the lights on 16 hours a day, 14 to 18 hours a day. You know, put on a timer, right? Keep life simple for you. And rotate the trays, check on the moisture levels. You can look underneath, you can touch them. Very important. Alrighty, I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I get back to every single one of them as soon as I can. And that way we all learn, right? And if you found this video helpful, then give me a thumbs up. Meanwhile, have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you in the kitchen or the garden soon. Cheers!